Alright, in today's video, I'm going to take you guys through my full 4-year transformation, so let's dive right into this video. As you guys probably saw last weekend, I actually uploaded my full 4-year body transformation video, where I already took you guys through my 4-year transformation. But that was kind of a cinematic video, pretty much showing you guys some progress pictures and some videos of me training. And even though that video did relatively well on the channel and is quite motivational and pretty good to look at, it does not give you a good idea of what I was pretty much doing at that specific point in time, what my goals were, what my body weight was, and pretty much my entire thought pattern at a certain point in time. And so in this video, I'm going to take you guys year by year through my 4-year transformation, what I was doing, body weight, training style, pretty much everything I was doing. So let's start off pretty much at the beginning when I started my 4-year transformation. So pretty much when I started training, I was about 17 years old, and like literally every single guy going through puberty, I obviously wanted to get bigger. I wanted to have muscles, I wanted to look better, and that was pretty much, not gonna lie, just to get girls back in the day. Now, at that point in time, I actually already did some training, so pretty much I was doing some workouts at home in my room, pretty much doing some push-ups, and my dad had some 5-kilo dumbbells, which I used to obviously do a lot of bicep curls. And I remember thinking back in the day, just from doing those basic home workouts, that actually looked pretty decent, which obviously wasn't the case, but in my head I was looking pretty decent, until one day my friend actually invited me to do some pull-ups in a nearby calisthenics park. And obviously I went there feeling pretty good about myself, and so I pretty much went to one of those calisthenics parks and tried some pull-ups with a very good friend of mine. And I remember very clearly, I was hanging on that bar and my friend was like, alright, do a pull-up. And I remember literally not being able to do a single pull-up. And my friend was like, well, you can't do a pull-up. And I'm like, yeah, apparently I can't. Because in my head I was like, why am I not able to do this? So obviously, like, after that we did some more push-ups and some other stuff. But I remember like riding home after that experience thinking, I am definitely not as good as I think I am, and I'm gonna start training. Because for some reason my ego kind of was hurt that day, and I was like, I'm gonna get to a point at some day in the future that I'm gonna be able to bang out pull-ups. I'm gonna literally start training right there, right now, because I wanted to finally take this training thing seriously. And so pretty much a couple months after, my parents and I pretty much moved to a different house. I pretty much moved away from all my hobbies, and that was the time where I was like, alright, I've got all this time now, let's start training and let's start my calisthenics journey. And then here we are pretty much at the start of my 4-year transformation video, aka my first year of training. I pretty much started training at about 70 kilograms body weight, which yes is pretty heavy for a calisthenics athlete, and I pretty much was training at that point in time outside, pretty much around the corner of my house, next to this calisthenics track, which actually had a pull-up bar. And pretty much, you know, as from September 2017, I pretty much went there a couple of times a week to train my calisthenics. And my entire first year was pretty much spent building up my basic numbers, which means working my way up towards a pull-up and pretty much increasing my push-ups, my pull-ups, and then some dips as well towards the back end of the year, and pretty much just kind of training outside, building up my basic numbers. But back in the day, I had absolutely no idea about what I was actually doing in terms of training, so progress initially was very slow, as I also talked about in my transformation video dropped last Sunday. And so yeah, first year was pretty much a blur, just like a year of like getting stronger slowly but surely, because even though I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, I was still making progress. Because you are in that beginner stage where you can pretty much make progress on literally every single setup, even if you don't know what you're actually doing. And then in my first year, after about 8 months of training, I also started going to a gym as well, but I actually kept doing normal bodyweight training, as I pretty much talked about in my transformation video. And so yeah, pretty much my first year just working on my basics, doing some pull-ups, some push-ups, and some dips, working on my beginner exercises and not doing any kind of static training whatsoever. So no front lever, planche, handstand, any of those kind of things, just basics for a full year. And that was pretty much my first year of training in a nutshell. And what I remember very clearly from that first year is I made a point that year of embedding training into my daily routine. Like, I remember very clearly, like, from day one, I did not want to skip workouts, and I was actually punishing myself every time I did, because I was like, if I want to make this work, I have to make training a habit. So pretty much for the first year, it was all about building up the basics and then obviously embedding training into my daily routine, which I benefited massively from further down the line in my 4-year training journey. And then we can move on to year 2. This is pretty much the year where I actually started having certain goals if it comes to my training. So pretty much at this point in time, I was working way up towards one-arm push-ups, pistol squats. I actually started doing some archer pull-ups and pretty much starting my journey for the one-arm pull-up. So pretty much as from this year, I had some specific goals I was actually working up towards, which was a massive change compared to the last year, where I was pretty much only focused on building up the basic numbers. At this point in time, I was weighing about 75 kilograms and I was actually training in a gym full-time. So no more training outside for the entirety of this year. And then also January 2019, I also started doing some static skill training, aka starting my journey for the handstand, front lever, planche and back lever, which I hadn't touched at all for the first 1.5 years of my training journey. And this was pretty much my first year at university, but I actually wasn't doing much for school. I was pretty much always busy kind of watching videos on training and nutrition, and I learned a hell of a lot about my training pretty much during this year. And I just remember kind of like training being the only thing I actually cared about during this year. So yeah, I made a lot of progress, like pretty much kind of learning more about it this year, and also like I was going pretty hard in my training as well, and so progress was kind of starting to kind of speed up, and I was very happy about that. And then we can move on to the 3rd year of training, where I pretty much started off at about 77 kilograms of body weight. And as for this year, not that much actually changed in comparison to the last year, aka year 2. I was pretty much still working on my basic exercises and pretty much working my way up towards archer pull-ups, one-arm push-up, and also started doing some planche training as well. Doing some handstands, some front lever and some back lever. Pretty much just kind of kept working on my goals that I had set myself from last year. And so year 2 and 3 were pretty much the exact same thing until March 2020, which is when the whole COVID pandemic actually started. We were pretty much put in lockdown as from March of 2020. I was pretty much back to training outside where everything started about 1.5 years ago. But to be honest guys, I wasn't really that bothered at all, because obviously like when you're training body weight, you can pretty much still do everything if you have a normal pull-up bar. And at that point in time, I was also still doing 100% calisthenics training anyway, so I wasn't really that bothered anyway. But during lockdown, there was absolutely no static training whatsoever, so no planche, front lever, back lever or handstands. And also I didn't train legs once during the first lockdown. I actually made a video about that topic back in the day, because at that point in time I was also starting off my YouTube journey, because I pretty much made YouTube I think in March of 2020. So at that point in time I was already making videos. They're still out there, they definitely aren't particularly good. But after 4 months of lockdown, pretty much all gyms reopened. So pretty much in June of 2020, I could pretty much go back to the gym. And so I had about 2 months of training in the gym before the start of year 4. So my 4th year of training actually is the year where quite a lot of things actually changed. First and foremost, I actually started doing some weighted calisthenics on top of my normal calisthenics training, pretty much for a couple of reasons. I hit a massive plateau if it comes to my calisthenics training, and I literally couldn't progress anymore just doing my bodyweight stuff. And also on top of that, like at that point in time, my training became quite stale, and I got to the point where I actually wasn't enjoying training as much anymore. So pretty much I wanted something new, something exciting, hence why I started doing some weights for my leg training and also some weighted pull-ups to complement my one-arm pull-up training. And so I pretty much did that for another 2 months before October 2020 came around and we were put into lockdown once again. So pretty much once again in lockdown due to COVID. And so for the next 9 months I was back to training outside. How I was training through lockdown is pretty much all documented on my channel over the last year. So pretty much I was doing my pull workout back outside at the pull-up bars and doing my push workout back inside right here in my room, as you guys saw in all those videos. Once again, no no legs during the entirety of lockdown, but during those 9 months I pretty much had a very good chance to build a very good foundation on my weighted pull-ups, and pretty much all my training during those 9 months actually was going pretty well. I was actually doing very well on my handstand training, my plank training, and pretty much everything kind of started falling into place because I was also getting a lot better at programming and pretty much kind of planning out my entire training. So progress during that year definitely was starting to pick up, and then pretty much by the end of lockdown, after 9 months of training inside and outside, I was raring to go. I just wanted to absolutely go to the gym and absolutely smash my training. And as I came out of lockdown, I also started doing a lot more weighted calisthenics. So I started doing some heavy weighted pull-ups, heavy weighted dips, heavy weighted handstand push-ups. I was going absolutely ham on my leg training, started squatting and deadlifting. And I also did a mini cut to pretty much lose some body fat, so my strength to weight ratio went to the roof for the first time in my training history. And so a couple of months after the end of lockdown, I was doing 37.5 kilogram weighted pull-ups, 55 kilogram weighted dips, and 17.5 kilogram weighted handstand push-ups. I was doing 80 kilogram squats and doing 90 kilograms on deadlifts. Pretty much all for reps, so my strength absolutely exploded after lockdown, and I pretty much ended up my 4th year of training at a body weight of about 83 kilograms. So pretty much over the last 4 years I have gained roughly about 12 to 15 kilograms of body weight through training calisthenics and weighted calisthenics. And then all of that brings us to the present day, pretty much bang on about 4 years since I started training. And to be honest guys, it's absolutely mad, like time absolutely flies these days. And if I want to finish up this video with anything, it's pretty much that like 4 years ago when I started, I remember actually looking at videos like this of people training for about 4 years, and they were pretty much able to say that they have been training for the last 4 years. And I was like, that's like 4 years is a lot of time to be training. And to be honest guys, like now when I'm in this situation, like I can tell you right now that 4 years of training is not that much. And to be honest guys, like if you want to kind of make a lot of progress, if you want to actually transform your physique and get a lot stronger, a lot bigger, the main thing you have to think about is consistency. Like once again, in my first year, my main focus was to absolutely embed training into my daily routine, and ever since doing that, like time just absolutely flies by. Like if you actually enjoy what you do and you pretty much have embedded training into your daily routine, time absolutely flies and progress comes very easy because you actually enjoy what you do and you keep doing it over a long period of time. And that is pretty much what is happening now. Like I absolutely enjoy my training, absolutely love my training actually. Like I go to the gym pretty much most days excited to actually hit the weights, and I feel like right now, like I'm at a point now where I'm just getting started. Like the big progress, like the big numbers are like still around the corner somewhere out there, and I'm just chasing my goals every single day. Like I want to be hitting like 4 plate weighted pull-ups, a 5 plate weighted dip. I still have much more goals to hit, but if I just keep going every single week, I know for a fact that in about a year's time I'm gonna be strong as hell, and I can make a 5-year body transformation and show you guys this video and tell you those are my goals, and I actually managed to hit them over the last year. Alright guys, that is pretty much my entire 4-year transformation explained right there. And if you're currently thinking what the hell is wrong with your voice, my nose is fully blocked right now, so it's very hard for me to speak properly right now, but I'm still gonna try and finish off today's video. So as always, like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. If you have any more video ideas, questions or advice, leave it down below in the comment section and share the video with somebody that you think it might be helpful to. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday, 3 videos a week, and follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This nose better not be blocked for the next video because I can't speak for shit. Anyway, latest.